Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I am your host, Nuck. We're going to jump straight into the replays again today. This is our Forum Elite Builder Base Edition ground attacks video. So I grabbed some ground attacks and starting off with some Bombarians, and then we'll look at a couple of variations on the attack strategy. Anybody who does ground attacks knows Bombarian is the base attack that is used to form up most of the other ground strategies at Builder Hall 7. You might see somebody go in with a straight up Barch, and a lot of people will Barch their way all the way up to 5,000. Nothing wrong with that. But most of the attacks tend to have Raged Barbarians, Bombers, and something else. So they start off with a Bombarian. And that's because the Bombarian attack essentially dismantles a base. It's very consistent. Probably the most consistent attack in the game at pulling somewhere around, say, 65% or better. Some players are really, really good with it, and they can get 75, 85, even 100% 3-star using it. But it's been my experience that the average Bombarian, Rage Barbarian type player, again, who does a decent job with it, who understands the strategy, will typically pull somewhere around 65%. And you can see the basic methodology in each one of these videos. The first thing you do is you clear out buildings that are on the outside. So you saw in this case we took out the 2 army camps. Then you send in Raged Barbarians to act as tanks for your bombers. You've got to keep your bombers alive. Bombers open up the outside walls, at which point you can flood your Raged Barbarians in. You can send in your battle machine, or, if you're using some other strategy that's based on it, you can send in other troops. These troops very quickly overwhelm the defenses, which either focus on one troop, which is especially bad if it's splash damage, bad for the defenses that is, or flit from one troop to another, depending upon what it is. And you overwhelm the base, you take over the base. Now, the biggest problem in these attacks is what's always a problem for ground troops, and that's the Crusher. And this is where Bombarian itself falls short, and why more often than not you don't see the 85% or better 2-star or the 3-star on a higher level base. When you start getting up around 4,500 to 5,000, you start to see the percentage trickle down a little bit. Instead of 100% or 85%, it becomes 75% on the high end, 65% is more normal, 50 to 55% becomes something that the not quite as skilled, but kind of working their way through it player does. Just kind of depends. It really does. But it's still a very consistent performer, and that's why you're going to see Raged Barbarian plus Bomber plus something used all the way up and down the top 100, top 200 in the leaderboards. Again, open up the outside, take out the apron, which you see an apron at the top. You take out the mini apron at the bottom, which has a few things behind it, but it's still essentially an apron. Those are intended to redirect troops. You bomb them, they're gone. They're no longer a factor. The Rage Barbarian's just going to go straight in. Now, how do you deal with those Crushers? Well, you've seen in some of the attacks, they survive to the very end, and bombers will go in and take them out. So if you can keep your bombers alive and get out everything that would target the bombers, they'll end up taking them out. Leonardo has a really good attack here on the next one that I just think is great. Everything else goes down. You got the 2 Crushers sitting there, and slowly but surely the 2 bombers work their way into the middle and take it out. This first one here, it was such a heartbreaker. That's why I had to give Leonardo 2 attacks so he could redeem himself in the eyes of everyone with a 3-star courtesy of his bombers. And we saw the same thing on the very first attack as well. So it's a thing, okay? This is how it works with this attack strategy. Start off, we're going to peel off the outer layers of the base. And once the base is open, we send in the Rage Barbarians. Slowly but surely, the bombers are going to work their way up. And in the meantime, those Rage Barbarians at the bottom, they're busting through the wall, or trying to, and distracting that archer tower, keeping the bombers safe. At the top, you see he sends in his bombers, but not until the battle machine goes in, and also distracts the cannon and archer tower that's up there, keeping the bombers safe. This is crucial to your attack. And it becomes even more crucial to take out those very end Crushers like we see in this one here in about a minute. your bombers will not survive if something is not tanking for them. And in other examples, you run into the exact same thing. You have to have the tanking. Without the tanking, your troops they're going to get decimated very quickly because they're too weak, like the bombers, or I've seen people use it with night witches. We use it with cannon carts and so forth. In this case, as you see, like I said, he takes out everything that could take out the bomber. And because they're a ranged attacker, they can actually hit those crushers without ever coming into the drop range for the crusher itself. And that's what gets him the 3-star. That's what takes down the crusher at the very end. There it goes. Now, obviously, you want to be able to expand beyond just Bombarian, especially since Bombarian does have some limited capabilities. Works best on some of these more open bases. Some of the bases are not quite as open, or the way they're arranged isn't quite as conducive to using Bombarian. So a lot of people have taken Bombarian to the next level by swapping out one more camp of Rage Barbarians with something else. In this case, we have Bombarian Carts. And you can see Guio here starts off by taking out the walls, sending in the Rage Barbarians, and the battle machine goes in eventually as well. But behind all of that are the cannon carts. Once again, we're tanking for the cannon carts. As long as you have something in front of those cannon carts so they aren't getting hit, and they don't get too close to something that, you know, gets tagged with splash damage, like the multi-mortar, for example, they're going to be able to just roll right through the base and cause tons and tons of damage. And that's exactly what they do here, until finally, really, there's nothing left that can take them down. You know, that cannon maybe could take one of them down, but it sure as heck ain't going to take both of them down. And in this case, it didn't. It just did a little bit of damage. They're able to continue to wheel their way through and finish off this base. I think overall, I want to say it had maybe a minute left on the clock when they finally take down that last cannon. I don't think it was more than that. But again, that's how 3-stars are made. You keep certain weak troops alive to the very end, and they take things out. Here we have the same strategy, but this player, I'm sorry if I butcher the name, I would say Picomi or something like that. He replaces one more camp of Rage Barbarians with an even better tank, Giants. The nice thing about Giants, the Boxer Giant, is that he has such high hit points against the ground targeting troops. He takes a huge beating. And if you get him in front of other troops, especially Rage Barbarians, they're not getting taken out. You maintain your numbers, and of course, they're Rage, so they're hitting fast and hard. So they manage to survive longer and do a heck of a lot more damage. The other thing, and I really like this, your Raged Barbarians and your Boxer Giants will distract the giant cannon long enough for the battle machine to stay alive. Now, obviously, you know, your luck will run out in the end, and here it is. The battle machine does get taken down, but it's not before those cannon carts manage to work their way up there and finish off the battle, or the builder hall and the giant cannon, to pull a 79% 2-star for this attack. And that's usually more than enough to win. 65% 2-star is your general cutoff. Now, the next step, let's replace one of those camps of Rage Barbarians with archers. Now, what does a sneaky archer bring to the table? Well, sneaky archer brings her cloak. She can stand there for umpteen seconds, firing on something and taking it down. So we send in the Rage Barbarians, let them act first as tanks and distractions to all the defenses, while once again our bombers dismantle the outside of the base. In this particular base, which is really just a variation on the brackets base with some additional walls, once you take down one of the sides, the entire base is open. You can get to everything. So you take down the side, and then you peel back that first layer and a half of defenses and support structures and such, and now you have one big crusher just sitting there open to the world. Send in, I think it's 4 sneaky archers are all you need, and before they even finish their cloak, down goes the biggest threat to your ground attack. And he's still got a boatload of Rage Barbarians left, not to mention his battle machine. The Rage Barbarians are able to distract the giant cannon. It locks onto them instead of locking onto the battle machine. Battle machine takes out the builder hull, distracts the roaster for a little while so it doesn't damage the Rage Barbarians. Then when he finally goes down, it does turn on the Rage Barbarians. By then, though, you're over 70%. And that, again, is usually more than enough to win the attack, especially on some of these, these are really up around 4,500 to 5,000. I think a couple of them, maybe Leonardo, was at 5,100. So you're going to win the attack if you can get there. Now, we didn't do just, serious gameplay in this event. We did have a little bit of fun. And here you have Holps with his level 14 Night Witches taking on Happy Face Guy's Builder Hull 4. And as you might guess, this is a very quick attack. It only lasts about 22 seconds. But it's fun to watch. I mean, to see these Night Witches surrounded and just send a flood of bats in to take it down so fast. I don't know. I guess I'm easily amused, but I thought this was funny. And we did a few of these. I think Surya did one. I think he did it with beta minions, if memory serves. So lots of fun in the event. Finished 57 overall and global, and second international. And a lot of guys hung around. They're going to build up the clan, and I think we're going to have some more fun. At any rate, that's the end of my video for today. If you're new, please hit subscribe. If you're a returning visitor, welcome. Hey, welcome to everybody. Got lots more coming to you, and I'll catch you later. Y'all take care and keep on clashing. Bye-bye now.